Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the first video that I've done in quite a while. I think I've been away for probably 5 or 6 weeks. To briefly explain why, there were a couple of health issues, nothing major, only minor stupid little things that basically totaled up to not a lot, but you know me, I tend to overreact to these things. I think it's just my age. But there was that. I also came down with that awful bloody cough that seems to strike me down about twice a year. I've still got slight traces of it left, so if I do suddenly break out into a coughing fit, you please forgive me. But it has mostly gone now. I've got my notes up in front of me now, so I'm literally going to work through this in the order that it is. I've not had time to I've had plenty of time, but I've not altered anything round into any particular order, so I'm just going to literally attack it as it's on screen and just wing it through this one, as it's my first one back in quite a while. There were other reasons that I've been away. I honestly felt that the whole thing was becoming a little bit stale, a little bit sort of boring for you guys, not for me as such. I seem to be covering pretty much the same ground every week. It just wasn't feeling right. So I thought if I take a bit of a break and just come up with a few new bits and pieces, nothing much, just things that might sort of, make it that little bit more interesting for you guys, because you're the ones who have to sit in front of this every few weeks. So obviously there will be things coming back. There'll be new bits and pieces coming in as we go along. So that was part of it, that I thought it was honestly just not working the way that it was, or I didn't think it was. Maybe it was the health issues and stuff like that that kind of emphasised it a bit. You know how things tend to snowball, but it hopefully now it should be okay. I'll also be recording slightly differently from the way that I normally do it, or I'm looking at doing that. Instead of doing sort of half-hour segments all on the same day, I might try doing shorter segments, sort of 10 or 15 minutes, whenever I get chance, and then just basically waiting until I've got about an hour's worth of stuff, and then just sort of cobbling it together and publishing it that way. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do it the old way for today, because I really want to get this out there sort of by the end of today if I can. It should only really take about an hour. I don't think I'm going to go way over an hour, but we'll see how we go. We know how that goes sometimes. And the other thing is, I'll only be doing videos now when I've actually got enough material to work with, when I've actually got something to say, rather than tie myself down to a schedule of every week or every 2 weeks or even every month. I'm literally going to do them as they come. It could end up going sort of weekly again for a short while if I've got loads of stuff to talk about. I may give it a rest for 3-4 weeks, as I say, until I've got stuff to talk about that I think that you'll find interesting, rather than just regurgitating the same stuff over and over again, which I think I was tending to do. I mean, you'll probably completely disagree with all of this, but this is just the way that I saw it. And I just wanted to, take a bit of a break, take stock of everything, and just come back hopefully bigger and better than ever, but we'll see how we go. I've also, in the time I've been away, been taking on some of your favourite movies. I decided to go back on your top 10 lists, some of which I couldn't find, but I've managed to sort of watch, let's see, 1, 2, 3, is it 3? 3 movies off your lists. I've managed to do 2 of Mark's favourites. I've done one of Guy's, well, one that I suspect is one of Guy's. I don't think this was on his original list. I'm fairly sure it wasn't, but I spotted it in a box of DVDs probably about 3 weeks ago, and I thought, do you know what, I've never watched that in all the years I've had it, and I've had it decades. And I mentioned it to somebody at work who said, what, you've never seen that? No, honestly, get it watched, you'll really enjoy it. And as soon as it started, within the first 5 minutes, I thought this has got Guy's name written all over it. So if I'm wrong, Guy, I do apologise, but we'll come on to that one in a bit. Within the next couple of weeks, I'll be taking on a couple of movies that JK, our Ginger Ninja, asked me to take a look at quite a while ago. Also, Callie, I've got hers coming up within the next sort of couple of weeks or so when the next video comes out. Who else have I got here? Jason P, you mentioned 2 movies over the last couple of weeks that you were surprised I hadn't seen. So I'm going to be taking a look at those because I gather that they are 2 of your favourites as well. So that's, let's see, let me do, oh, Bin It and Keep It, that Bin It or Keep It, that is coming back. I should never ever have let that go. That was a really good way of thinning out the collection. So the first one of those is coming up in a couple of minutes actually, and obviously I'll be able to get more movies watched, which will mean more movie reviews. Well, reviews as such, I'll just be talking about them for a couple of minutes, telling you whether I liked them or not. So yeah, hopefully, movie news as well. I've just noticed that on here. I'll be reading out sort of little bits of movie news gleaned from the pages of sort of Empire, SFX, Scream, all that kind of thing. All these magazines that I keep buying and they keep piling up next to me. I'm going to start going through them and coming up with the bits of movie news that I'm picking up from there. So that's basically it. I know it's been 5 or 6 weeks and I probably could have come back over the last couple of weeks, but as I say, the cough put pay to that. I actually wanted to come back, was it 2-3 weeks ago? And I tried it, as per usual, I tried it and it just wasn't happening. I'd only get sort of a couple of minutes into it and I'd start coughing. So I thought, no, if you're going to do this thing, do it sort of properly and at the right time. So that's exactly what I've done. But I have to say, it is so good to be back. Really, really good to be back. I have so missed this. And I will say now, thank you so much for all your support over the general announcements that I put out. I think it was last week or the week before, basically explaining why I've been offline for quite a while. I've sort of been ever present in the group, but obviously the videos were missing, and they are kind of an integral part of the group, and I didn't want to let it go at all. So, and I didn't want you thinking that I got bored with the whole thing, because I hadn't. I just wanted to freshen it up a bit, and that's all. So, as I say, it's good to be back, and sincere thanks, honestly, for all your support. You are the reason, as always, that I'm sitting here. I'll just read out a few messages. Chris, you were saying, I'm a fan of any type of Tony time. Cheers, mate. It's always better when you enjoy it yourself as it shines through. You do videos yourself, mate, so you know exactly how it feels. I'd be happy with Tony's tidbits, shorter, random videos about purchases, watched films, wants, etc. As long as you're happy doing them. Yeah, as I say, that's very much a possibility. Is that I will do sort of shorter segments and just publish them. Basically when I've cobbled them together, or maybe even sort of publish them as separate things. So it's a good idea, mate, and I will be taking that on board. Look forward to the next instalment. Cheers, Chris. Guy, you were saying, which film is it that you think has my name written all over it? You'll find out very shortly. I can definitely relate about hitting a wall with YouTubing. It does get to you after a while. You do as you wish, mate. If you think going a bit more sporadic with the vlog is the way to go, then that's the way to go. That's what will happen with me and Callista as regards Higgis. We'll be back when there is stuff that needs to be chatted about. I'm sure we'll all keep posting stuff in the group for you as well. All will be fine. Thanks, Guy. Much appreciated. Obviously, you being a sort of a video maker, you get it. You 100% get it, as Jason does. You know, Mark, you said, if you tell me you didn't like Young 4, 3, 2, 1, we're off already, look. If you tell me you didn't like Young Guns, then we are going to fall out. You'll find out in a bit. Yours is one of the ones I'm going to be talking about. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja, I think we all get that way when it comes to YouTube, so no stress there. As I say, you definitely get it. I even considered just walking away from it myself. The recent forced downtime has been a blessing and a curse. The free time is great, but I do miss it as well. But it's also given me time to refocus and look at things in a different light. So yeah, definitely feel where you're coming from. And honestly, sometimes you've got to put yourself first and take whatever time you need. Look forward to seeing what you're working on and what you got coming up. Also, wondering what 2 movies I asked you to watch. You'll find out in the next video. yeah, I don't think I ever considered walking away from it completely. Um, I think I've managed to strike a nice balance here, whereas I will just do them when I feel like doing them, and when I've actually got something to say that I think you guys are going to want to hear. So I knew you'd get it, mate. I did. So thank you so much, all of you, for the messages. Very, very much appreciated. And as I say, it is brilliant to be back. So the first, bin it or keep it. Grimsby. What did I think of this? You'll find out in just a couple of minutes. You also asked me to do a reaction video of a certain scene, which I have done, which I'm going to pop on for you now. So I'll be back in just a sec with my thoughts on the actual movie. Okay, so here we go. I've been asked to do a quick reaction video on a certain scene in a movie. Oh, bollocks. Okay, so here we go. I've been asked to do a quick reaction video to do with a movie called Grimsby, or The Brothers Grimsby, The Grimsby Brothers, starring Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Strong. Not the whole movie, but one certain scene, the elephant scene, which I know nothing about. I've seen the trailer to the film. I'm now 49 minutes in, and the scene is set for what I assume is the elephant scene. They're standing on a hill looking at a herd of elephants, minding their own business. I assume something genuinely unpleasant is about to happen. This one's for you, Rob, and for everybody else that asked me to do a reaction to this particular scene. I'll give you my full thoughts on the actual movie when I finish watching it, which I will do straight after I've done this. So as I say, 49 minutes in. Let's see where this goes, and I'm not looking forward to this.
Up to this point.
You're gonna follow me and you're gonna do exactly what your big brother says.
Hurry!
Come on.
Where'd they go? They were just here, spread out. Find them. Oh God, this is disgusting.
Oh, what, eh? Oh, surely not. Really? They've not crawled inside. Oh my God, really?
What can you see? They're gone?
Coast is clear.
Good. Let's get out of here.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck me! Brace yourself!
Oh, just as you think it couldn't possibly get any worse. Crumbs!
Get her off me! The mail comes up for up to 3 hours.
How on earth did they get this get past the sensors?
BBC, you work the shaft and I'll cradle the balls.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my God.
I got him. Come on, Sybil. You can do it.
Who the fuck wrote this?
Will you talk in the pee-hole? Groping. Stupid. I think we're in business. I think we're in business.
Fucking hell. What?
That is revolting.
Oh.
Well done. I think I'm going to be sick. It's a trick.
Oh, no, it feels. Oh God.
See if the coast is clear.
Oh no.
What is it?
It's an elephant bukkake party.
Get out of here. No, let's not go now. Brace yourself. No.
What exactly do you want me to say to that? I absolutely didn't see that coming. Absolutely not. Wow. The censors must have had a real peach of a time with that one. Right. Please tell me it doesn't get any worse, because I'm now about to take this into the other room and watch the end of it. So I'll be back very, very shortly with my thoughts on the movie as a whole. Oh, God. Fuck. Back in a bit. And we're back. Right, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about what I thought about Grimsby. God, where to even start with this? I'm not a massive fan of Baron Sacha Cohen. Baron Sacha Cohen, whatever his name is. Not a huge fan. I hated Ali G. I blame him for the fact that most of the kids in the country started speaking with this weird Jamaican dialect, which I bloody hate. I just don't find him that funny. And I'm not a great fan of what I would probably class as shock comedy, which is basically anything sort of like the In-Betweeners, all that kind of stuff, that basically just use loads of swearing and sort of sexually related things, and it's just really, really raw. So I'm not a great fan of anything like that. So I don't think this was ever really going to properly fly with me. There were a couple of funny bits in them. I can't for the life of me remember what they were, but I do remember giggling at a couple of bits and pieces. But nothing that would make me ever want to watch this again. All I would say is, if you find the idea of sort of women farting funny, if you find what else was there? Little kids effing and jeffing, and one that's about 6 years old with a T-shirt with porn star written across it, funny. It's just not my kind of film. I did watch it, as you saw. I think it's fairly safe to say that I will never revisit this. So Rob Gear, who absolutely loves this movie, you seem to all like it. Some comments here. Rob, you said this movie is hilarious. Tony should watch this. Really. Jason P, you said, I went to the cinema to see it. The last film I saw at the cinema to get this many laughs was There's Something About Mary. I didn't really like that one either. Let's see. Rob, you replied, I can just imagine Tony's face watching this. You know the scene I'm talking about. I wish I could have seen this in the cinema, as it was so funny. Yeah. Simon Robson, the elephant scene is one of the greatest ever put to film. That right? So you guys really, really seem to like this. It just didn't work with me, and it really, really didn't. I can't think of that many positive things to say about it. As I say, shock comedy, it just doesn't work for me at all. I did laugh at the In-Betweeners a bit, but I watched an episode of it probably a few weeks back on one of the channels. Was it More For? And I've got to admit, a lot of the humour now really makes me cringe. It really, really does. But you guys seem to like it, so. But my verdict on Grimsby, big fat poo. So, not a film I will ever be watching again. So, Rob, this is winging its way to you. I'll bring it into work this week. If you want it, you are welcome to it. If not, it's going to the charity shop, and that is definite, absolutely. So there you go. I've watched it. I've given you an opinion. That's pretty much all it is. I did the reaction video for the elephant scene. So yeah. Jason, you made a comment. I didn't realise this. I was actually looking at reviews for Crocodile Dundee, the Encore cut, which I think is either just about to be released or has just been released. And you actually wrote a review on Amazon. As soon as I saw the name, I thought, that's RJ. Be warned, people, this is an edited version with all the funny bits cut out as not to offend anybody, although it does not state this on its release, which is true. Another guy said, ignore the other review, only 2 scenes have been removed, deemed by Hogan himself worthy of removal. Is that right? Do you know what? I don't care if Paul Hogan sanctioned the removal of these scenes. I still want the movie uncut. If I'm paying for it, I want it uncut. So whether he agreed to have these scenes taken out or not, no, sorry. If I buy a movie, I now want the uncut version. So yeah, I actually agree with you, Guy. The other bloke, whoever he is, if you're happy with the cut version, knock yourself out, mate. You go and order yourself one. But I did notice this the other night. I actually watched on ITVX The Living Daylights. Now, I actually pay for the ad-free version of that, which I think is another £2 or £3 on top. What I didn't realise until I started watching it is that they've cut them. So you are paying for a service on ITVX for movies that are censored, and it is perfectly. I mean, I've seen the Bond films multiple times, all of them, apart from Quantum of Solace, which I've seen once, which I didn't really like that much. But one of the sequences that is cut, and I never went any further with this. I did watch it all the way through, but I didn't notice anything else that had gone. Is the scene with the runaway Land Rover at the beginning where he headbutts the guy. That has gone completely, disappeared. So not impressed. I will be keeping the ad-free version because there are a lot of movies on there that I do like to watch minus the ads. But ITVX, not impressed. I would assume that the Carry On films are also heavily censored. They're all on there. We did watch one on ITV3 or 4 a few weeks back, and within 5 minutes it was like, it's cut, knock it off, just go and get the DVD out the other room if you want to watch this. So why are we still doing it? Why are we still cutting things out? I thought this had all sort of fallen by the wayside a bit. And then I read this. Now this is a rant about Faulty Towers. I'll read it out exactly as it is, and you can see what you think, but I think you know exactly what I think, so I won't be passing comment on this because you pretty much know what I think. A young journalist watched Faulty Towers for the first time and says he is disgusted at how offensive the classic sitcom is. Writing in the Daily Star, Joe Crutchley opened with, I watched Faulty Towers for the first time and one seriously offensive scene got my blood boiling. Oh, here we go. His family had always told him it was one of the best sitcoms ever and a true British institution, which it is. But after finally watching it, he admitted it left him with a rather bitter taste. Okay, straight away he took aim at Basil mocking Manuel for his accent, pointing out that Basil even says he only hired him because he was cheap. The journalist said, and of course the studio audience laughed along because finding someone foreign is just so funny, right? No. That's not the point of it. He argued the show is laden with outdated, racist and sexist remarks, highlighting Major Gowan calling a man a pansy before adding, honestly, how the main character Basil is adored by... I'm losing the plot here. How the main character Basil is adored universally by fans, I have no idea. His constant sarcasm and cringe-inducing one-liners put him up there with Chandler from Friends as the worst ever TV character. Chandler? Really? I've never really seen Friends, so I can't comment on that one. But the moment that pushed him over the edge came in episode 6, where Basil reacts with shock to a black doctor treating Sybil. The Major then launches into a racist rant, casually using the N-word about the West Indies cricket team and another slur about Indians. The journalist wrote, as soon as he said it, so casually I might add, my mouth drops. Stunned to hear the vile word, I pressed pause on the best British sitcom before turning it off. Your loss, mate. He finished by saying, I understand it was a really, really, really long time ago, but as a woke 27-year-old, it's hard not to call it out. Either way, I won't be checking back into Faulty Towers. I'm more of a Premier Inn kind of guy. Yes, you sound it, mate. Now, he then went on to have a go at Only Fools and Horses, but I'll save that one till next week. But I also did wonder at the time, is this one of those fake things? And then I thought, no, do you know what? This kind of thing still exists, so it probably isn't fake. But I'll come back to the Only Fools and Horses, which is pretty much the same kind of thing. So basically, this Joe Crutchley, whoever he is, this journalist, does not like 70s sitcoms or the attitudes that went with them. Oh, no, I'm not even going to go into it because it's just fucking boring. Let's see. Oh, I finally found some potential Christmas presents. I've been bugged for weeks by Rob about what do you want for Christmas, and it's, as I said a few weeks ago, I've been looking through Amazon pretty regularly and not found much of anything that I really want. There are one or two box sets coming out, but nothing that I haven't already got, and that is perfectly adequate as it is. So I finally come up with three, and they all turned up on the same week. The Wild Geese is coming out on a 4K limited edition box set, and it's a beaut. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I've singled that one out, even though it's over 60 quid. Barbarella, finally getting the 4K treatment in a box set with art cards and a booklet and all this sort of thing. That's another potential one. And also John Carpenter's Dark Star in a very nice looking box set. Now I've got this on Blu-ray, and I've never actually seen the film, but it's one that I've always meant to get. And if he's really struggling for Christmas presents, that will definitely go on the list. And I'll donate my Blu-ray to the charity shop and actually have a watch of it. And there were one or two others on there. I actually had a look through sort of HMV, because he has to get them from HMV. He doesn't do online shopping, as I've said before. He doesn't trust it. It has to be something that he can actually go into HMV and physically pick up. Or, knowing him, he'll just go in and show the guy behind the counter the screenshots on his phone and just say, have you got this? That's probably how we'll do it. But I did notice one or two more. There are a couple of Laurel and Hardy Blu-rays coming out, a handful of Chaplin movies coming out. All of a sudden I'm finding all kinds of stuff. So the urgency for Christmas presents is kind of over, because I've given him so much to go at. If he gets them all, they'd be 300 quid more. So, which I've told him not to. So, right, I'll just read out the comments from the last video, and then I've got a load of stuff to show you. Oh, and a couple of reviews of movies that I've watched off your watch list, or your top 10 favourites, I should say. Lee, you started off with "Oh fuck, oh bollocks." That's really relating to the outtakes, obviously. David, morning David. I think doing YouTube, especially in the community, is amazing, especially interacting with you guys. That's probably the bit I enjoy the most, is obviously, sort of interacting with you on the group and on YouTube and all this sort of thing. I'm not a meets kind of person, so that's not really me. But interacting with you with the group, that's brilliant. I love it. Superman 3 was one of the first films I remember when I was little. Blimey, Superman 3, that would have been about 1983, so I'd have been about 21 when that came out. I do remember watching it, really, really enjoying it. I don't think it came up to scratch as far as Superman the movie, the original 1978 one, was, but it was certainly worth a watch. I haven't seen it for a while, but I've now got it on 4K, I believe. So I will be taking a look at that. Thoughts on the passing of Robert Redford? God, it seems like an age ago, doesn't it? Obviously tragic. He did some absolutely marvellous movies, which I would love to take a look at again. There's a Blu-ray release of The Sting coming out soon, so I'll be grabbing a copy of that. So I think it's only about $7.99. I enjoyed his movies. The Natural, All the President's Men was just brilliant. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, obviously the all-time classic. There are a lot of movies that I haven't seen of his. I believe I got one called The Last Castle on Blu-ray the other week that I need to take a look at. But there are quite a few that I've never seen. What was that one? 3 Days of the Condor. That's one that I wouldn't mind a look at. So I will be taking that in. So thanks for that, David. Much appreciated. Sparkstron73. Morning, mate. Well done resisting the urge on that Doug McClure box set. It was either a case of spending 120 quid importing 4 Blu-rays or getting them on DVD, which, having read the reviews on Amazon of those DVDs, they basically all say that these are brilliant quality, near enough Blu-ray for the movies, basically for saying how old the movies are. And I couldn't justify 120 quid over spending £13 on these DVDs, so that's why I went that way with it. But if they are released on Blu-ray in the UK at a reasonable price, I will upgrade, and that's for sure. The only problem with YouTube is that we tend to influence one another to buy more stuff. Tell me about it. I'm forever doing it. I've only got to hear somebody recommending a movie that I've not seen, and I'm straight onto Amazon. But not so much now. My buying is getting better. You would not guess by this stack of stuff I've got here, but bear in mind I've been away for probably 5 or 6 weeks, so it has kind of built up, and I'll be glad to get this lot off my desk, I'll tell you now. So once I've shown them off, they will be going upstairs. I also fancy picking those DVDs up now. Don't blame you. I've not had a look at them yet, but I'm going on what everybody else said, that the quality is absolutely superb. And it's a good little collection of films to have, and it is. So, Steve Mack, you clued me up on some aspect ratios. We were talking about that the other week. Those old TV ratios are 4.3. Older films are Academy, which is 1.37 to 1 or 1.33 to 1. The full screen ratio is 1.85 to 1 or 1.78 to 1. I can never remember which is which. I always have to get a little image up on Google to remind me, especially if it states on a sort of a disc that I'm thinking of buying, what the aspect ratio is. I do need to find out what I'm letting myself in for, because I still can't get used to those bars down the side of the screen. But I'm getting better with it. So thanks for that, Steve. Much appreciated, mate. Jason K, JK Ginger Ninja. Morning, Jay. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on Witchfinder General, by the way. I think you watched it probably a week or two back. Really, really looking forward to seeing your review of that. Good day, Tony. Glad to hear Maya is doing better. She's fully recovered now, back to her normal irritating self. But we've cleaned up her sort of food, her diet, and this, that, and the other, and she's so much better. It backfired a bit the other night. Because she started begging for something we were eating. I can't remember what it was. It might have been toast. And I think Rob gave her a little bit of toast, and straight off it was like, no! Oh, one bit won't hurt her. Sure enough, 30 seconds later, up it came again. So that was a sort of a minor step back, but she's a lot better, mate. Much better. Thanks for asking. Man of Steel, don't bother. Guy, what? Oh, is that what? That's what Guy said, obviously. You've got to check it out. Don't listen to Guy. It's not Superman, as you may know, but visually it's a stunning film and the acting is phenomenal. Michael Shannon is amazing as Zod. I didn't realise Zod was in it. Henry Cavill is a great Superman, not a great Clark Kent though. I will be taking a look at Man of Steel. I'll be watching all the Superman films at some point soon. You did read out you listed your top 10 movie TV cars. Now forgive me if I've sort of copied and pasted these a little bit different. I'm not even sure what I'm reading here because none of this makes any sense. But Kit, now that's Knight Rider, isn't it? DeLorean DMC-12, is that Back to the Future? 1973 Ford Falcon, mystery to me. XB GT Coupe V8 Interceptor, Batman's '89 car. The A-Team van, agree with you on that one. Airwolf, brilliant. Ecto-1, that's Ghostbusters, obviously. 1958 Plymouth Fury, aka Christine, gorgeous car. 1969 Dodge Charger, that's the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard, and the Tumbler Batmobile. Now, is that the original from the 60s TV series? You got some honourable mentions here as well. Stuntman Mike's car from Death Proof, a 70 or 71 Chevy Nova. 1961 Ferrari GT250. Oh, this is making sense to you. SWB California Spider from Ferris Bueller. Oh yeah, I remember that one. 1976 Lotus Esprit S1 Wet Nelly from The Spy Who Loved Me. That car was actually parked in the foyer at Burton Odeon when the movie was released. I've never forgotten that. What a gorgeous car that was. How they ever got it in there, I don't know. but they did, and it looked absolutely magnificent. Chevrolet Camaro Z28 from Transformers, the new Bumblebee. Oh, whoosh. So, thanks for that, Jay. Much appreciated, mate. Look forward to hearing from you again. Guy. Morning, Guy. Well, another great episode. I'm still watching on Saturday morning, but that's only because that's the most convenient for me. You watch whenever you want, mate. I've only started posting them on Friday, sort of 4 o'clock-ish, because that's when my weekend starts, when I walk through the door of home. So that's why I've started doing that. But it could all change again, you know what I'm like. Life on Mars, still under the telly. Oh, the shame of it. Well, it is under there, but I did say the other night we need to watch the end of that because I want to see how this all winds up. The Young Doctors, my life. I remember waiting for that to finish as a kid, waiting for children's TV to start. I used to love the Young Doctors, but then again, my mum loved it, which means I loved it as well. The Doctor Who Blu-rays are the way to go. You have a great one there, especially with the Three Doctors and Carnival of Monsters. It's the only one I've got so far. I do need to have a look. I've watched a bit of the Green Death, and I've got to admit they do look great. If I can get past this black bars down the side thing, I think I'll be all right with them. But whether I'm going to let all my DVDs go, I don't know, because they've taken me so long to collect. But saying that, I'm supposed to be thinning out, so ideally I need to keep either one or the other. Let's see how we go with that. Magazine wise, I'll personal message you, which you did, and I will be getting onto that, I promise. I will be getting some sorted out, some Doctor Who weeklies, some Empires, some SFX, some Infinities, the ones that I'm not going to keep. Thanks for another great episode, mate, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, I don't know about 2 weeks. It'll be whenever I've got stuff to say, mate. So let's see. Jason P, JP, morning, Jay. Loving your British movie journey, by the way. You've got some cracking titles there. What have we got? Company of Wolves, brilliant. Nuns on the Run. Never seen it. I keep meaning to have a look at that. I will take a look. Carry On Teacher, classic. The Early Bird, classic. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I tried watching an episode of the TV series when it was first on, and it made absolutely no sense whatsoever, so I had no desire to watch the movie, I'm afraid. Eden Lake, thoroughly unpleasant. Really, really well made, but a really mean-spirited, horrible film. Not one I would ever want to watch again. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what you got coming up with that, mate. Hi, mate. Great bit vid as per. Hollyoaks. I had another 6 episodes in the planner from the last 2 weeks, but I just couldn't waste my time on them. I'll just wing the crossover and watch it. I can't watch Hollyoaks for the next few weeks just to get in the loop. The crossover episodes are October 20th, 21st, 22nd, and a late night crossover on the 22nd. That's all I've read so far, so I've missed all of those. Posters pending. I have used object erasers on the posters to get me through the next few days. They're still doing it to you. Maya's meds. Oh, I had this thing about getting Maya to take her meds. I mean, it's all by the by now because she's sorted, but coat the tablet in butter, place on tongue, lift the head up, hold her mouth shut and rub her neck. She will swallow it then. We had to do this with all our Rottweilers. Oh my God. We tried wrapping them in ham, but they just spat the tablets out. Yeah, they know that trick. Used to wedge it in a Milky Way chocolate bar. Then they said chocolate was bad for dogs, so get the butter out, mate. Sounds like Last Tango in Paris. If you've seen the film, you'll know what that means. I wonder if the shop in Grimsby is the movie one I went in. Came out 200 quid lighter as I bought some horror figures. Unlikely, mate. This one basically stocked nothing but Super 8 projectors, movies, spares, bulbs, all that kind of thing. But it's an absolute paradise for me because I obviously love the whole Super 8 thing. Blair Witch is the most overrated bollocks I've ever seen. Wow. If you miss a movie on Channel 4 or Film 4, go on All 4 and go into the movie selection. They are normally on there for a few months or more. There's about 100 movies on there to stream. I'll take a look. That's it for this week. Ta-ra for a bit. Thanks for that, Jay. And I've got a horrible feeling that some of those comments I read out on the last one. But if I did, I do apologise. As I say, this is just really a tester to see how I go. Let me just put this drink down. I'll bring these bits over. These are the movies, or some of the movies that I've watched over Oh, it's a bit of movie news for you very quickly. There's a remake coming out which got me very, very excited, which I read about in Empire. Um, I love the original version of it. Absolutely love it. I've seen it countless times. Anthony Hopkins, Burgess Meredith, and Anne Margaret. They are remaking Magic. I am very curious to see who they get to take on the role of Corky, the ventriloquist, which Anthony Hopkins played in the original. Who do you think? Any ideas? I can't think of anybody that could fill Anthony Hopkins' shoes. I did think of Tom Holland, but I don't know why. Um, I think it's because I saw a fake poster of him starring in a fake remake of A Clockwork Orange and actually thought he looked quite good. But what do you think? Definitely looking forward to seeing this. There's no release date set for it yet, nothing like that. So we've got a while to wait for it. But I'm really, really looking forward to that. Right, movies. Mark, you knew I was watching these. Young Guns 1 and 2. Right, okay. So, I won't go over the plot of them because you pretty much all know this. This movie is, or these movies are sort of 40 years old near enough now. I will simply give you my opinion. Did I enjoy these? No. I absolutely loved them. So, sorry, I couldn't resist that. The original was really good. The remake was absolutely superb. I was absolutely hooked on the sequel, Young Guns 2. Don't know whether it was the historical aspect, as in the old Billy the Kid rolling up at the beginning. Christian Slater was superb in this. It was good to see the old gang back together. I did not see the killing of, was it Emilio Estevez? Can't remember. Who was it who got killed halfway through? Was it Charlie Sheen? Shows how much notice I took of it. I did. I absolutely love these movies. So yes, you had nothing to fear with this, Mark. Really, really enjoyed them. I've got another couple from your list that I want to take a look at over the next few weeks. But Young Guns and Young Guns 2, if you've not seen them, definitely, definitely. If this was a bin it or keep it, they would definitely be a keep it. Guy. As I say, I saw this movie on the shelf at the bottom. It sat there for, must be 20, 30 years, and thought, you know what, I'll have a watch of it. And a few minutes into it, straight away, I thought of you. Now, if I've got this wrong, I do apologise. This is Spinal Tap. It's a rockumentary, well, a mockumentary, as they call them. It came hot on the heels of stuff like The Ruttles, which was on TV. It's basically looking at Spinal Tap's final tour, the one that they fell apart on. And the only thing that brought me onto this, apart from seeing it on the shelf, was the fact that the sequel has just been released, which I need to take a look at. And I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind a look at the original. I know I've got it somewhere. So I dug it out and I really, really enjoyed this. I thought the music was superb, even though it was like false albums and this, that and the other. The humour was just brilliant. All the cameos were brilliant. Is this one of your favourites, Guy? I suspect it probably is. If it isn't, I do apologise. But if you haven't seen it, and I know you probably have, I would highly, highly recommend this. 1999, buy one get one free. They were the days. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that if you've not seen it, Guy. But I reckon this is going to be one of your favourites. So have I got that right? So right, coming up to 30 minutes, guys. I'm going to take a quick break and then I'll be back with the bits and pieces that have built up basically over the last sort of 6 weeks or so. So I'll be back in a sec. And we're back. Right, into the final stretch, guys. This hasn't gone quite as I'd hoped. I get the feeling that Chris probably hit the nail on the head with the doing shorter segments and probably doing them individually. I'll see how it goes. But this has not gone as well as I thought it would. I think I've probably left too much of a gap between the last video. you know how you get out of practice with these things and it doesn't quite come together the way that you thought it would when you finally get back to it. But we'll pick things up on the next one. When it'll be, I'm not sure. But I won't keep you waiting as long as the last one. So, right, I've got quite a bit to get through on this. Now, a lot of these things are doubled up. I've got 2 issues of certain magazines because it's been so long since I've done a video. So, first one, I actually picked these up from W.H. Smith. I got a bit of a thing for history at the moment. I'm watching a lot of history documentaries, so I grabbed this, the latest issue of Britain at War. So looking forward to having a read of that. This is BBC History, which is the same sort of thing, and this here came with it. So I'll have a read of those at some point soon, and obviously that was on the next shelf, so add that one. Now on to movies. The latest issue of Intermission, which is Talking Pictures official magazine. You've got articles of William Castle. I love the movies of William Castle, the king of shock and showmanship. Let's see, articles on Britain's oldest Ovaltine. Do you remember the Ovaltines? From Here to Eternity. A fascinating 2-part history of the iconic Ealing Studios. Look forward to reading that. So that's the latest issue of Intermission. I think there's another of those as well. Latest issue of Yours Retro. Articles on Steve McQueen, The Incredible Shrinking Man. I love that movie. TARDIS Top 10. Who was the Doctor's best companion? Joe Grant, played by Joe Grant, played by Katie Manning. Absolutely. David Soul, Space 1999. James Dean, Orson Welles. I love reading that. That's a good coffee break magazine. The Dark Side, with articles on Dress to Kill. Nazis versus Demons. Oh, that'll be interesting. Latest issue of Infinity. Let's see, we've got Predator. All sorts in there. Doctor Who. Buck Rogers. That'll be good for a read. I saw this. I mean, this is my era, obviously. Glam. It's quite expensive. I think it was about £9. Was it £9? Can't see. I know it wasn't cheap. Where is it? What's the price? Doesn't say, but basically it's a history of the glam movement in the early 70s, probably right through to about 75, 76. An issue of Sight and Sound with Cillian Murphy on the front. An issue of Empire, which basically I think has a sort of an article on Wicked, which is not something I'm really interested in. Latest issue of Doctor Who magazine. Let's see, another Dark Side with a history of The Hills Have Eyes. All that kind of thing. Latest issue of Infinity. So you've got articles on Frankie Howard, Toy Story, which I've never seen. Animated Adventures with Johnny Quest. Never seen that either. This is the latest issue of Sight and Sound with Guillermo del Toro on the front. His version of Frankenstein is released this week on Netflix. Can't wait to have a watch of that. Another issue of Empire, that's the latest one. I'm not sure what that is on the front. Doesn't say. And this is the... My God, this kind of brings it home how close Christmas is. This is the December issue. Bloody hell. Another issue of Yours Retro. Articles on Elvis, Peter Falk, Cary Grant, Cuckoo's Nest. Can't wait to have a read of that. Special effects behind screen werewolves and haunted Hollywood. Film icons still being spotted around Tinseltown. I love reading that. See, I bought this. I've not even looked at it yet. 30 days to boost your energy. I'm assuming it's going to be recommending, loads of sleep, protein meals and stuff like that. But, for a few quid, I thought, we'll have a look at that, see if I can get myself feeling a bit better. The latest issue of SFX, which is obviously devoted a lot to It, Welcome to Derry, which I believe premieres on Sky Atlantic sometime this month. Now, I'm looking forward to watching it, but I won't be watching it on Sky Atlantic because I don't subscribe to that one. But you've also got articles on Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, Terrifier, Black Phone 2, Stranger Things, Leprechaun, The Curse of Frankenstein, Paranormal Activity, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh my God, there's a lot to read in that one. Latest issue of Film Stories with I Swear on the front of it, which is a movie I would love to see. And also a movie called Roofman, which I heard a review of. I think Kermode reviewed it on last week's podcast. Sounds interesting, really does sound good. And this, as you know, I used to work at Malarkey's fishing tackle on Waterloo Street years ago, sort of late 80s, I believe it was, after the video shop. And I became all nostalgic the other night, and I thought, I wonder what. I went onto eBay and I found this. I remember basically when this catalogue came out, because I was working there at the time, and I just suddenly wanted to have a look and see whether I could remember all of the stuff that's in it. I've not had a look at it properly yet, but I know all of that stuff on the cover very, very well. Fly tying kits and all that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to having a nostalgic look through that. Handful of books. I'll start with the biggest one. Oh God, I've got so many of these, but I couldn't resist this for £4. Cinema, the whole story. This is basically, obviously, the history of cinema. Look at the size of this. It is a behemoth of a book. All sorts in there. And I think it goes year by year. Now, that's a dipping into book, that one. Next one. This is a fiction book that I came upon by accident on Amazon, and I thought, that sounds interesting. The Film Club. Not started it yet, so I don't know what it's like, but it got very, very good reviews. No school, no work, just 3 films a week. So, an object lesson in how fathers should talk to their sons. That's what it says. And that's the back of it if you want to read that. But that sounds interesting, my kind of book. I bumped into this series by accident. Again, just clicking through on Prime, and I thought, you know, I've never seen that. So I had a look at it, and a guy pulled me up on it saying, you're 4 years too late, but welcome to the club. And I thought I'd grab his book. Jeremy Clarkson. This one's called Diddley Squat, A Year on the Farm. This is the first in a series. And again, heard brilliant reviews of this. Everybody says it's absolutely hysterical. So I'm looking forward to having a read of that. That's one I'll be taking to work at some point and reading there. You know of my love for silent comedy. I had no idea at the time that Paul Merton also has a passion for the silent comics. So I'll grab this, silent comedy. Silent comedy is a terrific history of props and pratfalls, the times. I love books like this because I love silent cinema. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Also, I have a love of Australian movies. David Stratton, Australia at the Movies. I know somebody else that would love this for Christmas, so I'm thinking of treating her to a copy of this as well. And that's the back of that. And this is basically a history of Australian cinema. So, and this is a book. We got talking about this guy at work, and somebody mentioned that he'd got an autobiography out, and I said, "Oh, I actually wouldn't mind reading that." And he said he'd read it and said it was absolutely brilliant. Went on to Audible. The only version they had is a foreign language version, so I actually had to buy this on paperback. Total Recall. Arnold Schwarzenegger, my unbelievably true life story. The size of that. So I can't wait to read this. I did read a couple of pages of it the other night sitting here, and I thought, that's going to be a cracking book. Right, some DVDs and Blu-rays, and then we're done. First one. Guy, you recommended this one. I was basically saying that I'd not seen, or that I wasn't impressed with a certain movie, and you said, well, have you seen the TV series that it was based on? And I said no. I couldn't get this anywhere else. I had to buy this on Blu-ray. Police Squad, Leslie Nielsen. Not watched any of them yet because it's still in the cellophane, as you can see, but definitely looking forward to getting into that. This one was recommended by Sam, the lovely Sam, who swears by this movie. I know nothing about it. I've never heard of the director, Tarkovsky. It's a movie called Stalker. There's the back of it. I know very little about this apart from the fact that it is supposed to be extremely surreal. So looking forward to that. This is one that I wanted to watch in the 70s but never got round to. I spotted a DVD of it and I thought, we'll have a look now then. Abigail's Party. this is one of those one-off plays that the BBC used to screen in the 70s, and it got some great reviews. Alison Steadman is supposed to be amazing in this, so I'm looking forward to having a watch of that. What else have we got here? Texas Chainsaw. I didn't realise this was actually on Prime for free. I had a bit of a brain fart and just thought, oh, you know, I really want to. It was like, basically after watching the Ed Gein story, The Monster, and I thought I really wouldn't mind a look at the Texas Chainsaw movie that I watched sort of 10 minutes of years and years ago, but never got through it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm sure I looked on Amazon, but I couldn't find it. I obviously got this, and then basically found it on Prime, and I thought, you bloody idiot. So I will take a look at that, but whether I'll keep it or not is another matter. The lights are gone. And finally, Guy, didn't you say you loved there was a series you used to watch about sort of barges and stuff, or life on a barge? I watched a part of an episode of this a couple of weeks ago and thought, what a lovely, charming, gentle series. I would not mind having a look at that. This is Great Canal Journeys with Timothy West and Prunella Scales. Again, know nothing about it apart from these two lovely people basically taking trips down various canals on barges, and it just looked lovely. Another series that was recommended to me that is of a similar ilk. It is it Bob Mortimer Goes Fishing or something, Gone Fishing or something like that, and I thought, yeah, that sounds like something I'd enjoy as well, so I'm on to that one, which I think is on iPlayer, or is it Channel 4, I can't remember, but they're all on for streaming, so I will be taking a look at that. But I really wanted all series of this. Didn't realise there's a series 6. I will be getting that. And that is pretty much it. Oh, I've got one more here. Now, I'll do an unboxing of this on the last one, on the next video, because this isn't going particularly well. So I think I'll open the next video with an unboxing of this one, The Curse of Frankenstein. There's a very good chance I will take the cellophane off this before I do the unboxing, because I'm really itching to see what's in it. It arrived probably a few days ago, and I've done well not to undo it now. So I will do an unboxing of this and show you exactly what is in this, but it's the latest box set release from Hammer. I'm looking forward to seeing whether the next one is going to be Dracula, the 1958 one, because that was the next one that came out. But yeah, I'll do an unboxing of that so on the next video. So that is it. That's all I've got. I think I've strayed over an hour. As I say, thank you very much for the support over the last few weeks. I will try to make sure that I'm coming up with sort of decent content for you guys to watch. I still need to do a short video on the workings of my new projector, which I will be doing, and hopefully the next one, it won't be such a long gap between this one and the next one, and I think that's partly been the problem this morning, is that I've been away from it for so long, it's not quite worked out the way that I thought it would. Plus I need to get these notes tidied up and into some kind of an order, which I should have done before I actually came in front of the camera. But you live and learn. So thank you very much for joining me. As always, you've been absolutely brilliant. You kept me going, as you always do. And I will see you all again in a few weeks. I won't say when it'll be, because it will not be as long as long a gap as it has been with the last one. It really is falling apart, something terrible now. So I'm going to let you go. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. As I say, thanks for joining me, and I will be back very soon. Take care. Ta-ra.